go, dude. Temporary lockdown cannot stop us, dude. I don't care that there's 4 of them in play. Here, I'll even show the cam. This might go in the beginning. Look at this. Not even enough. They found all those in their top 20, by the way. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. And today, we have a very exciting list to talk about, and that is Gruul Delirium, which I think arguably got one of the most upgrades that could be offered to a deck in this set because of a lot of weird little things that come with some of the creatures that we got, especially with the new enchantments or enchantment saga creatures, which is a weird type that we got, which is super sweet. It affected Urza's Saga as of this weekend, so that's pretty cool. Blood Moon ain't out there blowing those up. Let's get to this deck and break it down real quick. So we already know for the most part what Delirium's trying to do. We're trying to meet the requirement of what Delirium is. And Delirium is the fact that if we have 4 different types of cards in our graveyard, it'll activate whatever the ability is on a card that has Delirium. So in Fear of Missing Out's case, whenever this creature attacks for the first time, if there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, untap target creature after this phase is an additional combat phase, which works well with some of our creatures that get very large. And cards that also require Delirium are Patchwork, the Fear, and then Wildfire enjoys Delirium but doesn't necessarily require it. And Violent Urge gives us Double Strike and a +1 if we have Delirium online. So this is kind of the main Delirium pieces. But we're going to break down the new cards because if I talk about everything, the intro is going to be too long. So we're going to talk about this card. It's Summon, whatever that word is. I do not know how to pronounce it, and I refuse to do it. And this card is probably the best card that we got to add in this deck. One, it's an enchantment creature, so it fits the type of card that Patchwork, Bestie, Wildfire, and Fear are, where they're both a creature and an enchantment or an artifact. So on turn 3 of this being in play, it'll actually sacrifice itself, putting a creature and enchantment into the graveyard, and that's where the bottom part of the card will come in really relevant. Exile the top card of our library. During any turn, you may put a lore count, or during any turn you put a lore counter on the saga, you may play that card. So it's basically a 2-mana draw card. We play a few amount of lands, so that helps us find them, or especially finding some of our explosive spells, where we can just draw a card while also progressing on the board. The bottom 2 modes is where this card really shines. When you next cast a creature spell this turn, it gains haste until end of turn. That allows us to hold our Fear of Missing Out back and then play it after one of these modes has been activated. Or we get to play something like Terra, which we'll get to in a bit, and that 4/2 becomes a lot bigger threat whenever we're attacking with Delirium, and a Violent Urge is possible to happen. Because the thing about this is once the 3rd mode activates, it'll go in the graveyard, putting an enchantment and creature in there. And hopefully by that point, we've put an instant or say a sorcery like a Breakout or something, or another new card, the Esper Origins, in there, which we'll break down now. This card is not the most impressive one in the deck, but we Surveil 2, we gain 2 life. If the spell was cast from the graveyard, exile, put it onto the battlefield, transformed. And it transforms, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a permanent card, put it in our hand, so it can also draw us a card, which we're going to Surveil 2, so most likely it will. And then add 2 green mana. Other creatures you can control get +2/+2 and gain trample until end of turn. So if we're flooding a bit and it's in our graveyard, we have a good mana sink to pay into. And then we can get to the other new card being Terra, which is super nice in this deck, at least I think so. When it enters, we mill 5 cards, put up to 1 enchantment card milled this way into your hand. So immediately for 3 mana, we're able to flip 5 cards in, and 4 power is not a lot, is a lot of damage that can come out of nowhere if it has haste with this, and Fear of Missing Out's able to untap it and things like that. So we can get enchantments which reside on Fear of Missing Out or the summon, or I think that's it, but that doesn't really matter too much to us. We're perfectly okay with that, and then we don't even have to. It's up to 1, but we can also flip it if we have to. That doesn't happen in today's video, so to keep the intro a little bit shorter, I'm not going to cover that. But outside of that, we are just full in on the Delirium kind of package. We have Breakout to find creatures, Seed of Hope to help mill, gain life, and find our stuff. Urge to be our closing card, and then Keen Eye Curator to help us against Omniscience piles and stuff like that, in which we do beat 4 temporary lockdowns today in one game, which is absolutely insane when you think that temporary lockdown absorbs every single one of these cards over here, and it's just really hard to beat for us in the past. But today, take them down, we gotta teach them a lesson. But with all that said and done, let's go ahead and dive right into the games. Well, all right, this is pretty sick, I think. I mean, we have cards that can help Delirium pretty easily, and we have a big pump spell, so Yeah, I mean, we're there. All right. Well, I'll grab the wrong lane. That's fine. I'll take damage. It's okay. I didn't want to play this basic forest. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Ooh. Take that action. All right. That's pretty good for us. I think I just go for the haste creature here. Because we might be able to, depending on how this next turn goes, like I want to be aggressive, right? But based on how our next turn goes, we could potentially seed. Because we're going to mill over 3 cards in total, and we don't need a ton more to go our way. And this is up to Beanstalk, so they have very few removal spells, so we do have to be very aggressive. They milled on their upkeep. Interesting. Well. Cast seed here. Should turn it on automatically, right? So I have 4. It's an instant, sorcery, artifact, and creature. I don't really need to land, so I'm just going to decline it in case they get to exile something from me. And I will play here. And on one hand, I think I just go creature and I go as wide as I can. Because I know this pumps, and that would have been 10. They've only taken 3, so they would have been, I don't remember where they were, to be honest. But our pressure is just so high here. I feel like I'm fine. Yeah, like Overlord, they have virtually no chance now. We're just too fast. As you can see, the difference between the play and the draw really showing up here. And they also just have a basic forest. Oh man, those arts are cool. I actually like that art a lot. I don't really know a ton about Final Fantasy. Like, have trample. Okay. I was just like, why did I say that like my opponent could hear me? I don't know. Well, that we win. We move on. Opponents first. Their hand seems solid, so we'll keep. We can cast everything other than this, but we have to assume with 3 to 4 draws we'll find it. The only real problem is we don't have a really quick way to fuel our graveyard here. And it's against blue-red, which is going to be even tougher. Sure. Well, it's actually a pretty good way to do it. Because we still get to potentially progress our board while also putting, like, a sorcery in the graveyard at the same time. Okay. Interesting. I'll just play Fear and I'll just discard the patch. Kind of because we want an extra land, but maybe discarding this would have made more sense, or this because we can always play it back. But if I cast Breakout, considering it's a sorcery, I feel like I wouldn't want to. Bottom top. If they attack, it's going to be clear that they have something. Or put an enchantment in my graveyard, but I don't really think I want that. Reveal the top card of your library. If it's a permanent card, put it in your hand. Okay. Sure. They went for the land they hit. All painful lands, by the way. Sure. Am I taking 4 here? And I think my answer is yes. No land hit. Instant sorcery. So if I did have a land, I'd be good. Prevail to... Yeah, I just can't really do that right now, huh? I think I go for Breakout. And I do end up hitting. So, also, there was only 1 land in that pile, by the way. And now we have... We just put an instant in and we're good. Because that's a sorcery, so I put in this. Oh, and we find a land. It's huge, actually. Here. Obviously, target and then target. Would you like to block? So this is a +1, and that would be... It'd be quite a bit. Let's attack with 1 here. Get to choose the block again, because it's an additional combat. Oh, I could have 2, right? That's where vigilance creatures are just so good. But Go a little wide. They have 4 mana here. Their blue mana is super painful. So it is an interesting spot to be in. One of those are gone. Sure. You have now. This town towards sack. Okay. We don't have haste, right? Put up to 1 enchantment card mill this way into your hand. Not guaranteed to hit, but you know, it is what it is. We just have 3 removal spells. I was gonna say, dude, holy. A breakout off the top, finding a creature that can attack could technically do it, which is quite wild. Exile the top card, you can play it. The next creature you cast a turn, it gains haste until end of turn. Does give me a blocker. Kind of want to play this. Oh wait, no, we have it here. What am I? Never mind. I don't know what I'm even talking about. Because this has double strike and 2 combats. Why did I have lethal last turn? Well, no, because it would have. No, I don't think I still had lethal. Because they could have blocked one of the times, right? But I guess I could have forced them to block, right? Oh, well. My bad. I just totally blanked on that. Well, a weird one, but I'm going to keep. Seeds turned off. If this card was online, we'd be really going good. Sure. Here. There's no way. But when this pluses, I'll be able to play this land. So it doesn't just get exiled. We didn't make like a small little mistake there. I know it definitely seems like it. I would take a basic land here. Obviously a surveilling would be bad. All right, so as you see, we get the lore counter back and this comes back, but we want to actually progress our board here. And I think we want to play the Terra here. Because it gets haste, so we want to be able to attack with this. And we'll grab this out. Sweet. I get to hit for 6 here. This also doesn't get hit by a temporary lockdown that they may or may not hold up. And we wanted to progressively work towards this plan. Enchantment and creature. We do have land sorceries, I guess. Now, this is an enchantment creature, so this is going to get fueled either way because this will actually go away on the last mode. So, a Volt Surge would do it. So it seems like they got a tap effect here. So we just can play our land out if we want. I want to use the green. No. Do they have Omniscience in there? No, they do not. Ace there. So there's a commercial district, which is good. But I have to play the Fear here, I think. Or do I just play this? No, I'm playing Fear. Get rid of a seed here. Draw. Light Shatter. Attack. So only the first creature gets haste? I guess I read that wrong. The next creature you cast. Okay. Sweet. That sucks, but, you know, it is what it is. Now I'll attempt lockdown would be pretty good against me. Or I might have done that a little bit different, but it's okay. We're just going to be about as aggressive as we can. So I could do this. Or I could just do this. Or I can just go here into here, I guess. And here. Against this match, we just want to be as fast as possible. I know it's weird because, like, it's Omniscience and these are really good. And we have to not play around that card. We just can't afford to. If we get haste, we know they don't have the bounce spell. Maybe they're looking for it here. We just have to put such an impressive board out this turn that they can't really do anything about it. We do have 6 damage on board, and our creature will have haste, and they know about this. Okay. 3 and 4. I don't see one, so. Still over. All right, cool. We get there. Good taste. So the furnace, is it furnace? Let me look, brother. Please. Not furnace. I saw this. I thought furnace. To be fair, I don't know how to say that at all. So yeah, I'm gonna call him furnace. Whatever. All right, we get to go first here, which is pretty sweet. I'm gonna play Surveil Land, go right into Fear. We'll get to see what's up. One of the best parts about that card is like we just discard it because we can always play it later. The only real downside of this is just Surveil 2. You gain 2. Just cast from the graveyard. We obviously get the benefit, but without it being from the graveyard, it feels a little bit weird. I'd like to play my enchantment creature. I just realized last game, I'm pretty sure I had a Keen Eye Curator, but I didn't really have the green to play it against my Omniscience opponent. Doesn't that suck? I was thinking about that. I was like, wait, I'm pretty sure I almost had what I needed. We have sorcery creature. So a land would be almost best draw. Where... Sweet. We get exactly what we want to, which is awesome. So here, and we already have a creature, so it's got to be one of these. We want that. We want that Delirium. We'll untap here. It's up to them if they want to block. Obviously, we're not holding anything back here. We have an incredibly high chance to have lethal next turn. I feel like their plan is to just slam me for a ton. Yeah, there's a Chocobo. So I'll get double strike and stuff, which is pretty cool. We can kind of force them to do stuff. We just double attack, right? Yeah, we just see what's up. I think this is worth doing. So we get Chocobo down, and then they get hit, and then now they either take 8 or they block again, so we get to answer both their creatures. But yeah, then they go down to 2. So, I mean, Delirium typically a deck that I have had falling in and out with, where I'm like, this deck's either goated or sucks, or like it's so good, but then we run into red and we just lose. It's so weird. We're having pretty good success right now, and that's pretty awesome. All right, sweet hand. This is a hand that we want to try out. I recently was on, so we had a couple of Ultimate Guard people come to our store, and we recently had them in there. You know, they were playing Magic and stuff, and they made a post, and I was talking about like things that I think are good out of the set and what I think is nice. And somebody said that this was a bad card. And we're like, mate, how? What? What do you mean? He grabbed the Omniscience back? Okay. I mean, that's up to you, big dog. I'm going to play this one. No. Because they could tempt lockdown me, right? I'm going to play this one. Obviously, attack up. That hits. So we're going to have a creature enchantment in the graveyard. So the Surge will be like kind of fine. We really do need to find a land. And there's the lockdown we thought was coming. So that's fine. So no lore counter is going to get put on there. This is where this card does struggle, I will say. Where like, hey man, that'd been cool if we could have, you know, actually been able to play it this turn. Because it's not your first 3 lands. It's your first 3 turns. This is pretty much a rip from the Alchemy card that keeps track. And they think us Magic players are good enough to track what turn we're on. Temp lockdown for 1 Keen Eye Curator. Okay, yes sir. So they're missing a land here, it seems. So I can just wait on this Keen Eye, or I can just play it now so I don't have to get punished for it. But I think I want to do this. Or even just play like this to get Delirium up, so whenever I do finally do my stuff, it's good. It's to play the Keen Eye. As much as that sucks. I can just do Delirium from their stuff, I guess. Land, creature, dragon. Because, like, I don't know if in the comment they realized that this land could tap for a colorless and you don't always need to do the super negative part of the card. They could have a counter spell. They could have a bounce spell, and I'm not going to play into that. I'm just going to hold this back as long as I can. We're going to do here. We're going to surveil too. Sure. Well, now I can feel a little bit more safe about this. In case they, I don't know, temp lock down it again. My Keen Eye. Maybe I should have done that backwards, no? Maybe I should have kept the seed on top to exile. This is a little bit of lack of use of the card. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of anyway. But they do have to hit the Omniscience in there. Maybe they'll have a counter spell for it now. But I can always play 2 of them. Here. Here. Play the one from exile. So it has haste, so I can technically do something with it. And then let's go to combat. Because now if they bounce something, I can always replay it. That's what, dispersal 2? Sure. Play back down. Playing a really fun Bounce My Keen Eye Curator game, huh? Real fun Bounce My Keen Eye Curator game. Sure. We might as well exile something on the way out, right? This is the hardest game I've ever played. So realistically, they won't have a way to put anything back. So we should play this a little bit weird. We should go for Adept. We get to grab an enchantment back, which will grab the Fear. And then we get to go for this because they're not going to be able to put anything in their graveyard. If they find 4th Temp Lockdown in their top 20, then I guess I'll lose to it, you know? Like, sometimes there's just cards you got to lose to in plays like that you just end up losing. Never feels great, but just happens, you know? I guess, do I care about anything like a bounce spell? Yeah, I mean, I guess not, right? If they bounce it now, I just get to do what I want. Bounce that? So they found the 3rd copy of Dispersal, though. If they have 4th copy of Dispersal, I'd be mind blown. Keep leaving on top, which is crazy. Another temp lockdown, I will throw up, and I'm not kidding. I guess one of those because it's legendary. Player land here. You can bottom the land. Pass. Instant creature. So we'll definitely be able to turn Delirium Morpher. They found all 4, dude. Like, are we serious? They're 20 cards deep and they have found all 4. That's so annoying. I mean, I guess. It's so annoying. They found the same amount of temp lockdowns as they have lands. Here, I guess. I was like, wait, I'm supposed to get that back. Yeah, I understand that one's not there. Then I might as well just cast this. I mean, I'm going to keep the Bestie there just because I know Breakout can hit it. So I want to guarantee a hit. Oracle, sure. Well, you don't want to play the 5th temp lockdown? Show me you're cheating, dude. All right. Do I just assume they have no counterspell? Probably. Yes. Discard. Wait a minute. Wait, are we gaming? Give me a second one. Ah. What do you have over there? What do you have in here? There's 3 dispersals in that graveyard. I promise you, I'm not playing around anything. I guess it should be here because it's the biggest creature, right? Here. We get there? Let's go, dude. Temporary lockdown cannot stop us, dude. I don't care that there's 4 of them in play. Here, I'll even show the cam. This might go in the beginning. Look at this. Not even enough. They found all those in their top 20, by the way. Every single one of these stupid temporary lockdowns, man. And we still get there. This deck's sick. Let's go. All right. So here we are. This might be cope. This might be just pure excitement. But the deck functioned really well. We went undefeated with it. We did not drop a match. I don't think. Maybe we dropped one. Did we lose one? I'm not sure. But either way, this deck felt good. We have hate against the graveyard decks, which apparently for temporary lockdowns can't beat. I don't know. I do think this card is very impressive in a deck like this, where it kind of replaces our breakout card. I still don't know if we're just supposed to cut this card entirely, because it is a sorcery that we get to put in a graveyard. And even if it does technically miss, it's just like, you know, it sucks, but at the same time, when it does hit, like it did in that game, we get to put a fear of missing out. It's like the upside's so high, it's hard not to play it. But maybe this card, I would probably do this immediately, maybe, and then maybe find something else that I want to play, or maybe I want to bullet again, or maybe just go up doing this if the math works out where we think we can hit it enough. But right now, the deck felt super solid. I think this card is an automatic include because it fits the same kind of criteria that these do, where they have 2 creature types, whether that's art or not 2 creature types. They are 2 types being a creature and another type, which these are artifacts and these are enchantments. So that helps our Delirium insanely quickly. And the fact that this pops itself, which is typically a negative thing, right? The fact that this blows up itself, draws us a card essentially, and gives our creatures haste is so good. It's just so hard to beat, because that allows us, with fear of missing out on the turn this goes away, to play it and automatically guarantee that it's going to have haste with some of the other cards that we've established in play. And that's just really, really good. So outside of that, the Violent Urge is really cool. I guess we could probably trim the 1 card and play a couple of Monstrous Rages, so we can give random creatures like this just trample and just 7, you know, power, or yeah, 7 power. And a little 1 more extra toughness, you know. But with all that said and done, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Like I said, probably in the intro, or if I didn't say it, I will say it now because I'm dumb and I do forget. I will be at Vegas, and all these videos are going to be recorded roughly the same day. So 1, I'll be wearing the same stuff. 2, the videos will be shorter. And 3, if I'm tired, that's because I'm recording everything at the same time, because I have a really busy... I'm in the middle of my busiest 2 weeks I'll probably have all year. So with that said, I hope you all enjoy, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.